Okay, will you just, I don't know, this isn't a problem in your lab book anywhere, but let's go through it and just review. You don't need to write it down. Just, just stick with me. Now, earlier today, a little bit ago, I said, hey, stick with me. That's why that sticker's been there all year. And then the whole class was like, what are you talking about? Everyone, look at the wall. There's a sticker above the fire alarm. All right, it says stick with me. Well, you've never looked. Also, what surprised me first hour is that I took down a gigantic TV and no one knew where I got it from. There's a big TV right over there behind Tyler. That thing has been in this room your entire life, pretty much. Where was it? It was right there. And right next to the flag that you, yeah, it's been there for 10 and a half years. It does look bare. That's going to be my Tom Davidson shrine. I'm going to take all my pictures from my yearbooks, blow them up, and put them there. Sound good? That sounds weird. Okay, sorry. I mean, that's cool. I, oh, today's great. I probably would. You're not wrong. Okay, here we go, my friends. We're not testing tomorrow. We can't. Like one of you can, but the rest of you would fail it. So let's work together. The goal is to now test on Tuesday. Here we go. Just pay attention, and hopefully we'll be good. So what is the molar mass of Na? Yesterday, I don't know that I taught this very well. It was a review, and I made the assumption that you remembered it. That was incorrect. Maybe not you, but first hour, that was incorrect. So if I find Na in the middle of my periodic table on the far left side, I find a 23 and an 11. Which one do I care about? The 23. So the molar mass of Na will be 23 grams per 1 mole. Fair enough. F2, my poor sweet AP kids that I've gone off on for 2 days, so many of them forgot to check whether something's diatomic. Does F2 matter when it comes to the mass? Wait a minute. That's a 9. No, it's a 19. Okay. You better believe it. If there's 2 of them, then it's 2 times 19. So it's 38. And that's a gram per 1 mole. I'm going to point to this and I'm going to annoy you, and maybe it will help later. Grams, whenever I find them on the periodic table, are always over 1 mole of the same thing. So like technically in our picket fence for sodium, we would say 23 grams of Na for every 1 mole of Na. Grams are always per 1 mole of the same thing. Grams are always 1 mole of the same thing. Grams are always 1 mole of the same thing. Any idea what I'm about to say? Grams are always per 1 mole of the same thing. So technically this would be 38 grams of F2 for every 1 mole of F2. Grams are always per 1 mole. And I repeat that over and over because kids make a mistake. They'll balance out a reaction and they're like, oh, it's 38 grams, and then there was a 2 from the reaction. No, that's not how it works. We'll account for the 2 somewhere else. Grams are always per 1 mole of the same thing. Did I annoy you? Did I repeat it enough? I don't know. I'm worried. Grams are what? They're always per? What?
1 mole of the same thing.
Okay. Gavin wasn't here and he even knows it. All right. 1 mole, the same thing. Jason, grams are what? Yes, they are yes. Okay, so if I were to find the mole of NaF, Na plus F, 23 plus 19 equals, tell your partner. I didn't hear the right answer yet. Nope. Now you're all annoyed. You know how to do math, but I want you to do math and science. What's the? Nope. 42 grams over 1 mole. Finally, 42 grams over 1 mole. I know it's annoying, but just trust me. We're going to need that a lot today. Okay. Now, let's look at how we would do this problem. How many grams of NaF? So I'm going to just put that right here. You all right with that? Can be made if you have 7 moles of Na. Well, just watch. This is not in your homework. I'm going to do it a little bit different. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to start at the back first. If I know that my answer is grams of NaF, I know that the last part of the picket fence is also grams of NaF, because they always are the same thing. Always, always, always the same thing. Always the same thing. Okay, don't hurt my feelings here. If I know grams of NaF are right here, I always know what is right here. Tell your partner. If you say moles, I'm going to be angry. 1 mole of the same thing. 1 mole of NaF. Because grams and moles are always tied in a 1 mole to whatever gram ratio, right? Always. Okay, now, hey, there's more. If I know this, I definitely know that as well, correct? Because I know the corners always match. So if that's mole NaF, then this is mole NaF. Is this always a 1? No, that one can change. And that comes from our balance reaction that I never really did I? So I had Na plus F2 goes to NaF. To balance that, I'd need 2 of these, 1 of these, 2 of those. We all right with that so far? So in front of mole NaF is a 2. Okay, now I'm stuck. There's nothing else that tells me what to do going this way. So let's go back to the start. What was I given? I was given 7 moles of Na. Well, now I'm almost there. Because I know what? I know this unit always goes down and over. The corners always match. So 7 moles of Na, I have 2 mole of Na. So the last thing I have left, we already found up there. It was 42 grams per 1 mole. I already have the 1 mole. So I put a 42 and then I do math. 7 times 2 times 42 divided by 2. Now, be reasonable and smart here. Why multiply by 2 in one step and divide by 2 in the next? No, that one cancels out. That doesn't always happen, but it did this time. So we have 7 times 42. So 294. I hate being a genius. Or maybe I did it first hour. And maybe I did it. All right. That's how we go from a mole to a gram. Now here's what's frustrating to kids, and I'm aware of it. we can use the same process to go from a gram to a mole. It's the same process, but does it look exactly like that? No, it would look exactly like this. It would go the other direction. But we can do it. Okay, now let's turn to your homework and do a problem. It would be from gram to mole. And it looks like we did we do 40 and 41 together already? Oh, we're way ahead of first hour. So maybe that review was worthless and you guys already knew every answer. Maybe it was helpful to at least one person. Okay, let's look here. Backwards, sorry. We did not do 42, right? Okay, well, 42 is the same direction, so I won't stress too much, but I'll help you with science. You okay with that? BaCl. We're off to a rough start. BaCl2 plus Na2SO. Oh my heavens. Well, it was nice hanging out back here, kids. Thanks. But I gotta go. Hey, I have some actually super sad news. No, that sounds actually depressing, but kind of sad. Damien has transferred. That kid. He went to all online as of yesterday. Kind of broke my heart. You can. It's not advised. He has to start over at square one. But I know I laughed at him, but I love that kid. He was both entertaining and low-key a genius. Now, he was not a great tester, but the kid knew his crap. It was so weird because at one minute you're like, man, can you tie your shoe? And then the next minute he's like, E equals MC squared is easy. I'm like, what the? Anyway, we will no longer have him in class. It breaks my heart. I got an email after school about it. He said he didn't like his lab partner. Just kidding. I'm just joking. It had nothing to do with us. All right. So this is the balanced equation. We are going to need the grams of barium chloride. Hold on. Hey Siri, what's the mass of barium chloride?
The answer I found is 207.843 atomic mass units.
So this would be 208 if we round it. You will need that. Okay, will you see if you can do this? Whatever. So far I'm 0 for 2 on recording the whole hour, but it's fine, whatever. Hey, if you wondered, here was the answer. And this was supposed to be an alligator, but whatever, it didn't work out. Okay, moving on. Okay, page 11, letter C, grams to grams. These are the longest, but for most kids, like I said, it kind of makes everything click and becomes kind of easy, easy-ish. All right, so my friends, will you balance this reaction if you haven't done it already? All right, hopefully we did fine there. We're gonna have a 4, a 3, and a 2. Hopefully we're fine with that. If we're not, that one's on the test, so memorize it. All right, here we go. This one, we're given grams of one thing and asked for grams of another. And in real life chemistry, this one is the most important one. If like at auto leave, you have a steering wheel, don't judge my drawing skills, but you have a steering wheel and there's an airbag in here. That airbag is full of a solid that when sparked produces a gas. You need to know the exact amount of solid to make the airbag kind of stiff, so when your face runs into it, you'll be okay, but not too stiff so that when your face runs into it, you'll be okay. There is an exact amount of gas you need to produce. And the way to know that is to do the math of exactly what we're doing. We find out how big we want this to be inflated with what pressure. That can be calculated into determining a mass of the gas produced. And then we use a picket fence to solve for grams of the gas to grams of the solid. And then we just shove that inside the steering wheel. And then science happens. Hopefully your airbag was a complete waste and it never did anything in your car. That's your goal, is that you destroy your car with an intact airbag. All right? But if the math is wrong, the airbag is pointless or even more of a danger. If you put too much in here, then it's like a wall that's now even closer to your face than the steering wheel was. And your super depressing, sad face is really not good looking anymore. Okay, sorry. I'm wasting time. Here we go. How many grams of aluminum were used to make 79 grams of aluminum oxide? Okay, I'm going to work this problem as I read it left to right, but that really means I'm going to work it from right to left. Just follow me here. We can start either way, but it says how many grams of aluminum? Follow me here. If this is grams of aluminum, I already know quite a few of these spaces. If this is grams of aluminum, I know this is grams of aluminum, correct? Say yes out loud. Yes, we already missed Damien. He was our voice. All right, grams we have learned today is always per what? 1 mole of the same thing. So I know the very end of the picket is grams of aluminum over 1 mole of aluminum, but I know more. It's like a great infomercial. Wait, there's more. If this is moles of aluminum, I also know up there is moles of aluminum. All right, now I can find that number right here. And then we're stuck. So now I'm going to read the rest of the problem. We're used to make 79 grams of aluminum oxide. So I know that I start with 79 grams of Al2O3. But wait, there's more. What does that tell me? Tells me the bottom of the next one is grams, Al2O3. But wait, there's more. What does this tell me? All right, that I need to go to moles. So grams is always per 1 mole of the same thing. Doesn't matter top or bottom, they're still always per that same thing. And then finally, wait, there's more. Call now and you can get 3 for the price of 2. Oh, really? Okay, well, what goes down here then? Mole Al2O3. And I take this number and put it here. Okay, so really now I just need this number and I need this number. Grams of aluminum, I can find that really easy. I just say look at Al and it's 27. Al2O3 is 2 times 27 plus 3 times 16, and that is 102 grams per 1 mole. Now, I already have the 1 mole, so I just put the 102 here. And then the masterpiece is ready. I can do math. So if I were you, I would eliminate things that you can in your head real fast. So just this step right here, what's 4 divided by 2? That just reduces to a 2 up here. So 79 times 2 times 27, and divide that by 102. All right, attack that. Did you get 41 point something, Kylie?
Yeah.
Okay, 41.8.
Mm-hmm.
That's my answer. All right. It, to me, is kind of cool. Just knowing what you want and what you're given, you can figure this out. This whole piece of the picket fence can be figured out based on your given. This whole piece of the picket fence can be figured out based on what you want. And then you just do math. Fair enough? Okay, let's go to the homework now. And go to grams on page 14 or 15. All right, so we'll dive into it. This one's not very hard to balance. Actually, it kind of is hard to balance. It already is balanced, but I've made you guys so good at one thing that actually stabs you in the back here. Because tons of kids will say, I see a 3 and a 2. I'll do the swapperoo. But this one, it's evil. There's a 3 and a 3. It's in 2 places. That's why it doesn't really work. Anyway, it's 1, 1, 1. Okay, now I'll give you a minute. I'll start doing it in like 2 minutes. You try your best. I won't talk while I do it. Then I'm going to pause this, and so help me if someone doesn't say unpause. Yeah. You don't technically have to do it. Yeah, no, it's definitely not 20. Did you have that? Sammy D?
I think I did it wrong.
No, you did it right. At least that's right. Math. That's right. And the reason it doesn't just equal the first is because even though it's 1 mole to 1 mole, you have the ratio of their masses involved. Okay, the answer is 9.5, if I remember right. And Shaylin's right. Who had 9.5? Raise your hands. All right. You did it, Caitlin. Not picking on you, but you never make a mistake. What did you do wrong?
I just accidentally did the math wrong.
You had all of the setup right?
Yeah, it was
Okay, good. So we would take 20 times 40 and divide that answer by 84. In case in case you didn't get to raise your hand, I took my given, which was grams. I brought them down. Grams are always per 1 mole of the same thing. So that matches. Grams are always per 1 mole. This matches. That's where I got that number. Then I would have gotten stuck, so I would work backwards. The unit of the answer was grams of MgO, which meant the unit at the end was grams of MgO. They were 40. That's just 24 plus 16. Grams are always tied per 1 mole. I don't know why they didn't include the 1, but whatever. And then these had to match. Now remember, these are only 1 and 1 in this problem because it was a 1, 1, and 1. Usually these are different numbers. Okay, let's try 44 together. So we have AuCl3 goes to Au plus Cl2. Try and balance it. Yep. That's the charge of gold. So that's the subscript of what gold's with, or what's with gold, not gold subscript. You didn't like that answer? So let me write it out. It's gold, 3 chloride. It tells you how many of the other thing. I know that sounds kind of weird, but that's what it is. All right, to save you some time, when you need the molar mass of AuCl3, which is gold 3 chloride, it is 303. When you need the mass of Au, it's 197 grams per 1 mole. All right, balancing. Hopefully you saw a 3 and a 2. Then you're off to the races. Will you take a minute and solve that? How could I have missed that? It's like everyone on their road test. I'm like, that red octagon thing you just ran. How did you miss it? It's 9.5 is the answer. Who had 9.5? Raise your hand. Nope, it was 39. Sorry, 39. My fault. 9.5 is the previous one. Who had 39? Raise your hand. Okay, now no one's giving me the death stare. Okay, let me set it up real fast. Okay, moving on. Here we go. We have, to save me, just, no, that's not that hard. 60 grams, AuCl3. 303 grams, AuCl3. 1 mole, AuCl3. 2 mole, AuCl3. I got that from right there. Coming back this way, I wanted grams of Au. That was 197. 1 mole Au. That means mole Au is up here. And that was the, right there. 60, I would cancel these out unless you like typing things for no reason. So 60 times 197 divided by 303 was around 39. Okay. Who feels at least better now than they did a half hour ago about this? Okay, that's everyone but one person. They were just writing all the work, so we're moving on. Okay, when are we out of here? Like a minute and a half? 2 minutes? What's that? Okay, not 15 minutes from now. Okay, sorry about that yesterday. Hopefully you made a vision goal and you're gonna tweet it and gram it and whatever. You're gonna make a TikTok video about your future vision goal and be dandy. Is there one more in that homework section?
Yeah.
Probably 45.
Yeah.
If you want that, take a picture of it. If you have this done when you come back tomorrow, I'll give you a little stamp. Okay, you guys are great. Yeah, I think it went better this hour. We'll find out.